good it breaks.
Nice.
Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out these fire logs from Lekto. Supposed to burn up to 3 hours, but we're going to put them to the test in this video. Big shout out to Lekto for sponsoring this video. They sent me some products to test out and this is one of them. So this is how they come from the box. You get 2 packs of 6, so you get 12 total. Each box weighs about 20 kilos. And that's quite a bit of fuel really. So all the links for the websites and stuff will be in the description below if you're interested in checking these out. For this video we're going to be using Lekto firelighters. We've got Lekto kindling and we've got Lekto firelog briquettes as well. This is how I like to set it up. We've got 2 briquettes broken in half, so 4 pieces on the bottom. We've got a bit of kindling in there and we've got 3 firelighters just because it's quite a bit of space and I want it to burn evenly throughout. So let's start this up and get into the test. Once you've loaded up your stove, you've lit your firelighters, make sure you've got your vents fully open because it's an easy mistake and sometimes you do forget to open your vents fully. Also, I do like to keep an inch or 2 of ash in my bed if I'm burning wood for the week, just because you get a better experience and a better burn when you do have a bit of a ash in the pan, maybe an inch or 2. All stoves are slightly different. Then we close the door, just like that, and we wait. So we're just heating up the flue now, and then obviously the briquettes will catch as well. And once the briquettes catch, that's when we start adjusting the valves to get the best burn time. So let's see what these bad boys can do. 5 minutes in, we are up to just coming up to the 300 mark on the temperature gauge there. So I'm going to turn down the bottom vent now on my multi-fuel. Obviously if you've got a wood stove you don't need to worry about that. The briquettes have just caught now really nicely and quite an even layer there. So that's why I put the 3 firelighters in, so it burnt down on the both sides and the middle at the same time. It does spread across obviously, but that takes a little bit longer. And I am pro firelighters. I do like them. You know, they've got me out of a few pickles quite a few times as an end user of these products. You know, I always have a load on hand, and luckily we've got the ones from Lekto, so we've been topped up with another 250, so should keep us going for a little while. But at this point, our top vent, is still open fully, and once it gets over the 350 mark, then we'll be bringing that back down. 15 minutes into the test here, all the briquettes have caught, and we're just getting up to that 350, 400 mark there on the temperature gauge, which is exactly where you want to be. So it's at this point now, about 10 or 50 minutes in, is where we're going to set our stove up ready for the next 2 or 3 hours. So we've warmed the flue up, everything inside is caught, and we've shut down the bottom vent, which, no, you don't have to do that. This is just what I do and what I find works for me. And you might have the exact same stove and have slightly different results, just maybe due to the flue size, due to the wind in your area. It could be all sorts of things. And that's where experimenting comes in with it. These logs on their website say they burn up to 3 hours, so we will see if that is true. But I've got my bottom vent fully shut down and I've turned my top vent down to about 60% at the minute, and I'm going to see how it goes from there. You can see in there, it's not roaring away, it's just ticking away. 45 minutes in, this is what we got. Still plenty of fuel in there, and you can see the temperature we run in is bang on what we want to run, which is low to medium optimal, so 3 to 400 on the dial, which is a perfect place to sit it for the midday burn. So we just reached the hour and 10 minutes mark here, and look what's happened. It's gone all the way to a high optimal. So it's quite common for this to happen where you'll set it for 300 or 400, it'll be cruising along at 400 all day long, and then all of a sudden you'll get a spike in temperature. So that's just when they swell up. You'll see them swell up, more fuel is being shown to the flames. It's releasing more heat. But all you have to do, if you're in the area, you can either turn it down a little bit, but if you've set it correctly in the beginning, then you don't even need to turn it down. So you can just leave it go to high optimal, and then it'll come back down on its own. And you'll still get about the same burn time, really. But if you really, really want a super long burn, you want to set it to really low in the beginning. I'm talking 300, 350, and try to keep it there, 20% on the top valve. And you should get the longest burn times like that. So let's take a closer look at the product itself. So, you know, they're quite big, size of my arm pretty much. So you've got a lot of fuel there. They feel quite dense, which is really good. It says on their website this is their all-rounder briquette. If we can get 2 or 3 hours out of it, it will be. Let's do the brake test and see how good it brakes. So nice and easy to brake as well. And you know, I've done these tests a fair few times now, so I must have burnt maybe, I don't know, hundreds of briquettes by now, and I'll be able to tell you by the end of this video if this is a good briquette. So we're at the 2 hour mark, and this is what it's looking like inside. Everything's just ticking away nicely, still plenty of fuel left in there, and just turning it down like we did in the last clip has got us down to around the 400 mark. And it's definitely a balance with these things, you know, it's trial and error. Every heat log's slightly different, every stove is different. You have to do what works for you. Two and a half hours in, this is what we have left. We've still got some flames over there on the right hand heat log. 2 hours and 45 minutes into the test. We're starting to drop down now to the 300 mark, but it's still kicking out some heat at this stage as well. So let's take a little look at the fuel. And I think it's time to refuel about this point now. So what I like to do is, if you are looking for slightly higher heat output than the 300 mark, if you're happy with 300, you'll probably get another, well, a good 40 minutes out of this, I would say, before it drops to under 300. And I'm going to stick some more on now. So these briquettes from Lekto are definitely a high-end product. They are a premium briquette. I would put them in that class. We got nearly 3 hours out of 2 briquettes, burning them on high optimal for most of the test, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So I could have easily got over 3 hours on these if I turned the vents down. But it's all about how you set it up, and that's the most important thing really, is just to grab a few, have a play about. You know, you might fall in love with them and you might never buy coal or a log ever again, and you might just stock these for the next winter. But as always guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I will be back, you know the score, 2 or 3 videos every week without fail, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Pow!